What's up, folks, and welcome back to Dyce React, where we are staying in Poland tonight. Oh yeah, we are going to be checking out why Poland's train silence always shocks Western travelers. Grab my side checks one out. We ain't going to waste no more time. Just going to get right into it, folks. We're going to get right into it. Oh yeah.
Step onto a long-distance train in Poland today, and something feels different. No loud phone calls, no shouting across aisles, no TikTok blasting from speakers. Just quiet, not enforced silence, not rules posted everywhere, but something stronger, an unspoken agreement. And here's why this matters right now. As travel across Europe becomes louder, faster, and more chaotic, Poland's train culture is quietly moving in the opposite direction. So the real question is this silence just politeness? Or is it a deeper cultural signal about respect, boundaries, and modern public life?
I would definitely say.
By the end of this video, a completely new way of seeing everyday train travel may emerge. And it might explain something bigger about Poland itself. There's a specific moment many foreign travelers experience. It usually happens about 15 minutes into the journey. The train is moving, people are seated, and suddenly, the realization hits. Nobody is talking, at least not loudly. A couple might whisper, someone types on a laptop. An older passenger reads, a student stares out the window. But the expected background noise of modern life is missing. No business calls, no speakerphone conversations, no group laughter filling the carriage. Even without stepping into a designated silent zone, the atmosphere feels intentional. Almost like entering a library that happens to move at 160 kilometers per hour. And this isn't rare, it's normal. But why? Many countries rely on rules. Quiet cars, announcements, signs reminding passengers to behave. But on trains operated by PKP Intercity, something else is happening. The silence isn't enforced, it's expected. Not because someone said so, but because breaking it feels socially uncomfortable. And that's a powerful difference. This isn't about fear of punishment, it's about mutual awareness. Public space is shared, and shared space comes with invisible boundaries. Here's something worth thinking about. When silence is voluntary rather than enforced, it becomes culture, not compliance. Want to see this culture in action? Look at how people use their phones, scrolling through social media, watching videos, listening to music. Headphones appear almost instantly, not because of announcements, not because of rules, but because playing sound out loud feels disruptive. Even children are often quietly reminded, not harshly, just gently. It's not about control, it's about consideration. And here's the key question. In a world where personal devices make noise unavoidable, why does restraint still dominate here? Hold that thought, because the answer connects to something deeper. From the outside, this quiet can feel distant. Some travelers interpret it as unfriendliness, but silence in Poland rarely signals rejection. Instead, it signals respect for autonomy, space, emotional neutrality.
That is very interesting. That is so rare in today's age, 2026, with all the different gadgets we have that make so much noise. I mean, it's insane in the modern times. And to get that silence without having any rules enforced, it's crazy to think. It's surreal to believe that you could achieve such silence in any type of public space whatsoever.
In many cultures, friendliness begins with conversation. Here, politeness often begins with not intruding. Small talk with strangers on trains is uncommon. And that's not because connection is unwelcome. It's because forced interaction is seen as unnecessary. The message is simple. Comfort doesn't require conversation. Think about the last train journey taken recently. Was silence relaxing or awkward? Drop a comment with that first reaction, because that feeling says a lot about what comfort means in different places. Public quiet in Poland didn't appear randomly. Decades of shared public life shaped it. For much of the 20th century, public environments weren't always spaces of expression. They were spaces of observation, crowded trains, shared compartments, limited privacy. In that world, emotional restraint became practical. Keeping things low-key wasn't just polite, it was safe. Even after political changes, behavioral patterns remained, and over time they transformed, from caution into courtesy. Silence stopped being defensive and became respectful. So what might seem like simple train etiquette today may actually be cultural memory. Compare this with trains run by operators like Deutsche Bahn. Conversation is common, phone calls are normal, energy levels.
And I have a very interesting to add to what he's saying there and why I think this is achievable in Poland and different parts of the world where this is not exactly just the silence part, but in terms of respect.
Are higher. In some places, trains feel like moving cafes. In Poland, they often feel like moving study rooms. Neither is right or wrong, but the difference reveals something important. Mobility culture reflects social values. Some societies prioritize interaction, others prioritize coexistence, and coexistence thrives on restraint. Here's where things get interesting. Despite global trends toward louder public behavior, Polish train etiquette has stayed remarkably consistent. Even younger passengers often mirror the same quiet norms. Why? Because silence delivers something modern life increasingly lacks: mental space.
Yes.
Time to think, time to decompress, time without stimulation. In an age of constant notifications,
Yes.
a quiet carriage becomes more than transport. It becomes refuge. As urbanization grows and public spaces become denser, the ability to coexist peacefully matters more than ever, and trains are a perfect testing ground. Hundreds of strangers, different moods, different goals, one shared environment. Noise could easily dominate, but instead, balance emerges. Not through enforcement, but through mutual understanding. So the next time silence fills a train carriage in Poland, it may not be emptiness, it may be agreement, a quiet signal that public life doesn't need to be loud to be functional,
True that.
or meaningful,
Definitely.
or even comforting. Sometimes, respect sounds like nothing at all.
In today's age, it's hard to actually get a setting, especially a public setting, that is so controlled in terms of the silence, the behavior, and people respecting when it comes to the mental space of others and being very mindful of those things. And definitely it has to do with a cultural aspect. This is all brought down to culture because it's not something that is enforced. The Polish culture is very mindful. When it comes to the West, one of the reasons why this cannot really be attained is because we have a culture in the West where there is no shame. You could do just about anything in the West and no one is going to shame you. Society does not shame you. So it just breeds for those kind of absurd behavior. And in Poland, there's a level of respect, and it's almost like if you do something out of the way that is not normal, that is not seen fit, you know that it's going to bring shame on you, and you don't want that because people are going to look at you and it's going to be shameful, and you don't want that. Well, I would say that there is still a level of shaming in Poland. It doesn't mean shaming on a level where it can be seen, but people will look at you with some type of disdain for behaving that kind of way in public or doing things that's not supposed to be, done in a public setting. Being ashamed is important in society, because when you have a society that breeds that everything is okay and nothing is shameful, then you just opening basically the abyss, like how it's stated in Revelation, for all sorts of behavior. Cultures where there is a level of shame for certain behaviors, people tend to stay away from doing it because they know they don't want to be viewed a certain way, and it's not okay, regardless of how the rest of the world view it. In this culture, it is not okay. Sometimes that's why you avoid public transportation, because of the excess noise and all that stuff, you know, and the drama that you normally get in the West. So definitely it's a welcoming experience, most definitely. If you want to see that long journal archer that I do, hit over on Dyce Reacts, where I do music reactions. This is where I'm going to be making my exit. Until next time, peace out.